I think we're in a time where the country is incredibly divided, and immigration is an issue where that is extremely apparent.
We're going to build a wall. It's going to be built.
If Trump's wall is built here in southern Arizona and throughout the rest of the borderlands, death is going to continue in this area. People are not going to stop migrating.
The wall will probably help, but it won't solve the problem because these people that are coming are very determined.
I support Donald Trump's desire to secure the international boundary. We need a wall, and we need some sort of legal way of getting good people into the country.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
We already have a wall, and wherever we don't have a wall, we have desert littered with skeletal remains from those trying to cross.
The resources that we provide out here are the difference between life and death for many people. Sounds good. Pour waters.
On a typical day, we'll wake up, we'll load the trucks with supplies, and we will drive on backcountry roads to then hike into even more remote areas, inside canyons, on top of mountains, in washes, to leave water and food in strategic places where we hope that they will be found by people who need them.
Right now we're just outside of the town of Arivaca, and we're driving out to do a water drop. Migration's still happening, and it has actually not been deterred. So people end up just dying in larger numbers or are faced with bigger dangers, like longer stretches of being in the wilderness and rural areas without access to water and other things that they need. Then we can leave some extra waters in case we run into anybody who needs some.
Yeah, good idea.
A really common cause of death out here in the desert is dehydration, but we also see people who die from poisonous plants and animals, from drinking contaminated water when they are lucky enough to find it, as well as bodily injuries. Do you want a hand? Since December 2016 alone, we've found over 11 sets of human remains.
This is the cooler, or the morgue. It's through these doors that nearly 3,000 human remains of migrants have been brought in the last 15 years. Colibri works very closely with the medical examiner's office to help identify the remains of those who have died crossing the US-Mexico border. When a body comes into a medical examiner's office, already something has gone wrong. We don't know how they died, why they were hurt or killed, or we don't know who they are. And in the case of migrants, this office examines hundreds of people that we believe to be migrants because they've been found on migrant trails and they're carrying foreign ID cards and water. If you look at those statistics, what Prevention Through Deterrence did is it focused surveillance on the urban points of crossing, leaving open wide expanses of desert and sea. So that spike in the early 2000s, we can attribute to a shift in US federal border policy. We had 10 times the number of deaths and continue to have deaths in the hundreds in southern Arizona because of the way that the border is policed.
The cartel controls everything on the Mexican side, and frankly, most of my ranch. We don't have a fence or a wall, and there are literally 200 trails coming across that the drug packers use. Come on over here. You can see that I literally have maybe 100 carpet shoes. They don't leave tracks. They're found around the house here and kind of demonstrates that people are coming across my ranch to bring drugs through. How would you like drug packers coming through your backyard? That's not acceptable. It's a national security problem, and it's a humanitarian problem to a large extent. It's just awful to have people die on your ranch. I know, it is terrible. I support Donald Trump's desire to secure the international boundary because I know this area perhaps better than anybody else. And I support the idea personally that we need a legal way to get people into this country to work. With a knock on the door, I come out like this and hola, agua, that's water, of course. And usually they say, see, and I keep my gun between me and them, and I go over here and turn the hose on. I don't care whether they're a drug packer or an undocumented worker. I want them to have water.
In the desert, water is a symbol of life and survival out here.
Hasta un mundo sin fronteras, until a world without borders. And this is my rendition of the mountains here.